If you're in IT, cybersecurity, or software engineering, you need to hear this right now. The game has changed. What was once promising career fields is on a downturn, and I'm here to save you guys from being cooked. So why should you listen to me? I'm Steve Hernandez Mejia. I have over a decade of IT and cybersecurity experience. I've put my blood, sweat, and tears into this career field. I have firsthand experience, dozens of certifications, degrees, boot camps. I've been to conferences. I eat, live, breathe, sleep this. To be honest, I have no real reason to do this. I already do well for myself, and the only reason I'm doing it is because I was once in your guys' shoes. A long time ago, I was starting out. I didn't know anything about the field, but I wanted to get in, and I wish someone would have told me this information to make my path a lot easier. In this video, I want to talk about the current job market in 2025. I also want to give you guys practical tips to be able to survive out there and be able to provide for your families. I want to tell you guys the cold hard truth. Some of you may not want to hear, and this career path you're chasing might not be for you, and that's okay. But I want to set the record straight. It's currently early 2025, and it's rough out there. I know this because I've seen it firsthand, and I've experienced it either through myself or through friends or LinkedIn, social media. I see all the trends of what's going on, and it's rough out there. So to be able to understand the current, you got to go back a little bit to understand the past and what shaped it. I'm not going to go into politics or the economy or any of that, but that definitely has a big impact on what's going on. But a big part of the reason is years ago, cybersecurity, IT, software engineering, everything was new, and with social media, people found out about these career fields, and they found out how much you can make and what kind of a lifestyle you could have, especially during COVID and being remote, having great work-life balance. People jumped on that ship and they wanted to be a part of that. So now it is oversaturated and there isn't enough jobs for everyone. I don't know if you've seen on LinkedIn, but there be Apple hiring events where it's two recruiters trying to fill one or two slots, and there's hundreds of people there in person. And you take that to scale with these remote jobs where literally everyone in the country is trying to apply to it. Within the first day or so, the job posting already has hundreds, if not thousands, of applications, and most of the time it's from people that aren't even qualified for that position. So now let's talk about the current. And a lot of people don't want to hear this part, or I'm saying the inside part out loud, but it's the truth. There's fewer remote opportunities. A lot of big companies have had mass layoffs, and it's pretty sad because they're labeling these people as underperformers when sometimes what they did is use the benefits provided by these companies to go on sick leave because they have medical emergency or have a newborn child, so they have to split up their responsibilities, and that put them in the category to be placed in underperformers. And now they're laid off without severance, and now they're also looking for new jobs. Not to mention, a lot of these companies are preaching return to office, and there's a lot less remote opportunities. Like I said, a lot of people are fighting for these, and back then you were promised all these job opportunities like, oh, if you're in tech, you'll always have a job. Well, I'm from Las Vegas, and the tech job market is very slim. There either isn't specific jobs for my niche, or it's severely underpaid. And with all the work that went into this field, some of the job postings I've seen, they try to pay less than what it takes to survive in Las Vegas. And it's not much. The high paying jobs, the FANG jobs, for those of you who don't know, FANG is Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, Google. The big guys, we've all heard or used their products. They might be paying well if you're not in constant fear of being laid off. But the only problem with these is most of the time they want you to be on site, and these on-site positions are in high cost of living areas. We're talking Seattle, New York, San Francisco, Simi Valley. The cost of living is so expensive, and the taxes you're paying it might not even be worth it. Not to mention the stress added on top of that, being in those spots. The last reason I want to say on why it's so difficult is the high barriers of entry. A lot of these spots, they either require lots of experience, lots of certification, lots of degrees, and that could either be really expensive, and not a lot of people have that kind of funds or privilege to be able to study and have the time for this. I know my software engineer friends, they're grinding leak code, they're coding every day. Cybersecurity is so broad that they want you to know a little bit of this and a little bit of that, or they want you to know one specific tool and you might be using a different tool that does the exact same thing, but just because you don't have the specific experience with that tool, already disqualified. And I'm sure the same applies to IT. There would be no point in making this video if it was just gonna be sad and depressing, because that doesn't help anybody. I wanna give you guys a few tips. So let's get started with number one. So tip number one, it doesn't matter what niche or what field you want to study within tech, coding is always going to help. So pick a programming language and start practicing it every day for at least 30 minutes. That will go so far over the course of a year. The whole goal is just to be 1% better every day. Tip number two, perfect your resume. There should be no reason that there's common spelling or grammar mistakes on your resume. Take the time, double, triple check it, have your friends or family or someone, I'm sure there's someone you can reach out to that could take a second look at your resume, so that way it doesn't get tossed to the trash for something so simple that you can fix with just taking a few extra 5 minutes to look if a period is missing or you misspelled a word. Also, if you see a job posting that you like, apply anyways. The worst they could say is no, and best shot is you have a new job. Step number three will vary if you already have a job and you're trying to get to a better job, or if you're still a student or someone trying to switch career fields, is to do projects. So you can go on YouTube, search up top cybersecurity projects, how do I set up my home lab, and just do something that when it comes to an interview, you have something to talk about instead of just staring off into space. If you're already in a position, ask your leadership or one of the other teams if there's a way that you can get involved into a new project or help out with an existing project, something to boost your value and something that also can boost your credibility. If you're in the help desk, try to see if you could get a project doing something outside of just your daily help desk activities. Step number four is find a mentor. Try to find someone that you look up to that is already doing what you want to do, and ask if you can shadow them or just ask them for any type of tips, so that way you can fast track your experience. Side note, if you are gonna ask for mentorship, do it with some thought. Don't just message a person and be like, hey, can you be my mentor? No, it doesn't work like that. Build a connection, build a relationship, and then try to ask for mentorship or something where they could help you out. It's a relationship. Don't just ask me. Try to see how you can help them. So that way they can be more inclined to help you. Who knows, they might even offer you a job. In my opinion, this is the most important one. Try to reverse engineer your goals. If you want to be a cybersecurity engineer, see what a top cybersecurity engineer is already doing and break that apart. Break that into manageable chunks. Remember to take it step by step and build on top of your foundation. And you can never go wrong with studying the foundations. Think about it as a pyramid. Just keep going up and keep learning. So lastly, here's something you might not want to hear. Cybersecurity, IT, or software engineering might not be for you. If you're chasing it just for the money or for the hopes of being remote, take a step back and truly think about if you're passionate about doing this, because these careers are always evolving. There's always something new to learn, and it's constant learning. Me personally, I love that. Other people might get burnt out, and that's completely understandable. But for that, I want to explain that, for example, the cybersecurity field is huge. Just because you don't like one area of cybersecurity doesn't mean cybersecurity is not for you. You might be more creative, more complex thinker. You might be into being a ethical hacker, or if you're someone that likes to follow policies and procedures, you might be the next policy guy, the next executive cybersecurity officer. Aim high. Thank you guys for making it to the end of the video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And let me know what kind of content you want to see next. I love tech. I also love cars and traveling, food, experiencing the world. I want to keep making great videos for you guys, so let me know what you want to see more of so I can bring you guys the best possible content. Good luck out there, and remember, there is no finish line, and you don't have to measure yourself by other people. Everyone's on their own track, and you aren't behind or necessarily ahead in life. It's all a roller coaster, and just be happy, live in the moment, live in the day, and appreciate what you have. It could always be worse, but keep grinding. You got this.